Welcome to the Roots and Rhythm podcast, where we explore the essence of culture, our experiences, and a healing journey that shapes our growth in family. Through heartfelt stories about marriage, mental health, relationships, and parenting, we create a space where you can find connection, understanding, and inspiration. Join us as we explore the rhythms of life, one story at a time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Roots and Rhythm podcast, where we explore the rhythms of life one beat at a time. It's your boy, Vlad the Bull, your number one embrace coach. And I am joined by my lovely co-host, the one and only
Angie, La Cyber Mommy.
La Sabbath Mommy's in the building. Show us some love. Show us some love, everybody. Give it a little bit of clap. Yeah.
We have sound effects.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yes. So, La Sabbath Mommy's in the building. The Bull's in the building. Today we're talking about some interesting things. I want to shout out our flowers. We got our flowers on. We didn't coordinate.
We
this
did
on
not.
purpose.
We just showed up like this.
We just showed up like this. We just
Wow.
woke up like
Wow.
this. So, we in here. Flowers, new life, new blossoms, new opportunities, right? So today we're talking about a little bit of an offshoot or a continuation of our last episode, but we're more so talking about relationship dynamics through the lens of expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
What roles, how do we decide what roles we play in our relationships? Are they based on outdated information? Are they based on tradition? And are we making our own rules? Like, how do we decide who does what? And why does that work for us?
Right. Did we automatically just start doing these roles, or did we have a conversation with our partner to say, hey, this is what I will do, this is what I definitely will not do? And I'm a little bit of a sprinkle of all of them, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So when Wallace and I first got together, I had this mindset of, I have to be like my mom when I'm married and do all these things for my man and set this table and serve his food. And like, again, my dad was very particular, very old school. So my mom, when she served him dinner, he had his plate, which was empty, and then she served all the food in little plates. So everything was in a separate plate, and then he'll serve himself from all the little plates. To me, now thinking that's a waste of dishes. And Wallace did not expect none of that. Like, I remember trying to do that when we first got together. Like, again, because we were living in sin for a little bit, and I tried to do that, and he's like, what are you doing? Like, I already had 4 sandwiches. No thanks.
Wait, so you got the big plate for him, and you put his meal, and then you get the little plates for yourself? And
No. Like, I'll set the table with, like, all the food, like, family style, but then his plate would be empty. So then serving him from there, like, depending on what he wanted, instead of just going to the stove and just grabbing food and putting it on his plate. Yeah, just kind of like a banquet.
You can have the banquet style.
Yes.
I'll take some of those.
Yes,
I'll take some of those.
this.
Yes,
Yeah. And again, me thinking, oh, well, everyone would be like my dad because that's what I saw growing up. No, not true. And then when we also got together, like growing up, I always had to clean the bathrooms. So I was like, I'm not cleaning any more bathrooms.
Listen, that's a Caribbean thing, man, because every Sunday we had the Ajax on deck.
Yeah.
We were scrubbing.
And dishes
all that.
too. We
Dishes,
had like
everything.
we had to wash the dishes. So I was like, those are the 2 things that I'm not ever going to do if I can help it.
That's
And
actually surprising to me.
Yeah, and Wallace was cool with it. So I did bring that up. I'm like, look. And Wallace was like, oh, I don't care. I'll do that. And then Wallace loves to iron. I throw my clothes in the dryer to iron. So
I have mixed feelings about that now because I was ironing my mother's clothes. That was the ultimate test. Mom was going to go to work risking looking janky, which she was not. So I had to learn how to do the escump, which is the crease right here in the middle. We call that escump in Creole. And you have to be able to do the escump, but you can't have a double escump, which means a double crease.
Yeah, just one.
You do the double crease, you're looking like Boo Boo the Fool, right? So, yeah, I used to iron my mother's clothes and my clothes. And I still didn't get to choose what I wore to go to school. It sucked. But nowadays, bro, if we're in a bind, man, we got kids, we got whatever. I just toss it in there. But you can't get the crease by doing that. Maybe someday in the world we'll have a machine that does the crease.
Does the creases, yeah.
Well, it's not that far off.
No, it'll happen. AI is making great strides. I'm sure it's in the pipeline.
Yeah.
But Wallace likes to iron. Like he says, it calms him, so he irons the clothes. I don't want to iron. I don't want to wash dishes. And obviously, when Wallace travels, like I'll do it, but I do it because I have to, not because like I want to, or like, oh, I want this to look nice. No, where's Wallace?
You don't care about what it looks like.
No.
This is all about survival, dude. Don't get used to it.
And then recently something that happened to us that I took control of because I'm more of like the details administrative side of things.
Tell me.
So someone hit our parked car the one day, Vlad, because Wallace is in a band and we have a tour bus, and the tour bus usually is parked at our house. The one day that I park on the street versus the driveway, they hit my car, bro. It was parked. It was like 7:30 in the morning, just hit it. The lady, she's my 2 doors down neighbor. She said she was going like 20 and doesn't know what happened. This video, she was literally going at least 50.
Nah, bro. Nah, I'm gonna have to bust out the trooper moment real quick. You showed me that video.
Mm-hmm.
That lady was going at least 40 miles an hour in a residential district where it was probably 25, thickly settled.
My quiet ass street. Nothing happens on the street. And she's lucky that school's out, because usually there's a police that's parked right at the top of the street. Because the school's there like like a crossing guard.
Is it Fitchburg or
Fitchburg.
Is it Fitchburg State?
I want to say Fitchburg.
Because it's Fitchburg?
Because it's the public school. It's not like the college kids.
I was gonna say, because Fitchburg State, I think they do have Chapter 90. Chapter 90 is a set of laws, Massachusetts general laws, that all the motor vehicle laws, like when you get pulled over for something, it's usually a Chapter 90 law. There's 89 and there's 85 and whatever. But Chapter 90 is like the wide breadth of the laws, right?
Okay.
But
it's a public school, so okay. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's like Fitchburg police or city police versus the college police. But anyway, she's lucky that wasn't there. And then she was like boohoo crying. She's like, "Don't call the police." I should have called the police. But I didn't, because it's my neighbor, and then I called you because I was like, hey, should I file a police report? And honestly, I felt bad doing that because she's my neighbor, and then in the times that we're living in today, I just didn't want to involve law enforcement,
Yeah, no, a lot of people are scared of law enforcement,
right?
Rightfully so. I mean, they shouldn't be, but that's just the climate.
So I didn't want to call them, and she knew she was at fault. Then she was like, oh, that they'll pay for it out of pocket. I still don't know the estimate of the cost, but they changed their mind, and now that we're going through their insurance. Thankfully, they had insurance, so it's all being handled. It's just an inconvenience versus this big expense that we're gonna have, because it wasn't our fault. But I handled that one, speaking to the neighbor, dealing with that. Wallace, again, because it was early in the morning, so we were getting the girls ready for school, so and camp. So he was in there doing that, and then I was outside dealing with everything. I've been calling the insurance, their insurance. I went and picked up the rent-a-car. So it's like doing all of that. Just naturally, that's what I'm good at, like organizing all those things, paperwork, whatever. And I know Wallace could do it if he had to, but it's not his favorite thing. Like, even with the band, I'm like, oh, what are you guys gonna do? Like, who hired you guys to sing? He's like, I don't know, Angie, I show up and sing. Like, he just wants to do the thing.
I thought he was pretty much the organizer for the group. He's starting to get into that,
but it's not like something that he wants to do because he loves it or because it naturally comes to him. He's doing that now because, he's going to business school and doing all that. But yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Was that out of the realm of normalcy for you to jump in the driver's seat, no pun intended, in this situation, to jump in the driver's seat and handle everything with this woman, the insurance, or would Wallace have done that?
No, Wallace would have done it. Wallace would have done it if he had to. I feel like if I wasn't home for whatever reason, or if I was like, you know what, Wallace, my mental capacity, I have a big project at work. Thankfully, my big project at work had ended. So I was like, kind of like in a better headspace. So I did it. But again, the administration or admin part of life relationship, Wallace, it's a emerging strength.
He's an emerging scholar.
Yes, in that, because now that he's in business school, like he's, doing all the things. So I feel like it's going to be a strength. And right now it's not like it's a weakness, but it's just not like his favorite thing or the best thing that he's good at. Wallace is good at being calm in situations. Yeah.
And that we can't underscore the importance of that, right?
No, very important.
Next question for you is, who is the chaos captain in your household?
Oh, me.
You're the chaos captain.
Mm-hmm.
With a big old capital C.
Yes, yes.
Crunch.
And I feel too, because I didn't know how my neighbors were going to react. Were they going to give us a hard time even though it was their fault? Like, I'm the shark in the house. Like, Wallace would have been like, oh, well, I see what they mean. Like, maybe we were parked a little bit. No, this is their fault.
Negative.
They will compensate us for what is owed. And if we got to get in that A, we're going to get in that A. And Wallace, again, is more passive. So it's like you need both. We just can't be both out here going nuts. Like someone needs to be.
You can't both be out here going nuts, and you both also can't be out here getting trampled on. Right?
Exactly. Wallace calms me down, and how Wallace says I light a fire under him. So it's like you need that balance.
Water and fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, you do need that balance. I'm definitely the chaos captain in my house. Mm-hmm. Chaos was my heartbeat. My heart. Every time I went to the doctor and they took my blood pressure, it was chaos over 120 or something. You know what I mean, or over 80. You know. Mm-hmm. But I certainly prefer the in the moment handling the situations because I am the calm. I'm the calm person. I'm not the calm person. I'm the person that I'll kill you if I'm lit enough. But Julie's usually the calmer person. But when it comes to things that are chaotic with a lot of moving parts in the moment, like Julie's more. Mm-hmm. She's not as adaptable. And I mean, that's the one thing about trauma that's cool, I guess, is that when issues hitting the fan, you become the fan blades. You just you figuring out which way it's going, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So nah, man. I mean, we had a couple of instances where our dog Bella, Bella, she is a lovely pit bull terrier mix, but she does not like other dogs.
Yeah.
So, one time I was fixing our snowblower at our old investment property, and I was outside fixing it. We used to take her outside with no leash because we were just taking her right to the right to the yard, and then we were taking her back. And she saw this other dog, and I saw her ears perk up. And I was like, yo, Jules, you got to get inside. Get her inside. It was too late. She took off. Try to attack this dog. I think she was really just going to try to pin her down. But what she did in the process was the lady was walking her dog. I'd never seen this lady on my street. And she got tangled up in the leash. Mm-hmm. And then she fell very gently to the ground. Okay, I was watching her. And so, of course, me with the first responder acumen in my brain, I said, lady, are you okay? I'm so sorry. Do you need EMS? Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, thank God it wasn't worse. Thank God. And then I get a letter in the mail a couple of weeks later. This lady's suing us for injuries and stuff, right? So, yeah, I definitely, when it comes to things like that are extracurricular, I'm in the driver's seat there. Yeah. But I rely on Julie when my head is hot. Mm-hmm. She's that cool water that I need.
Oh, facts. Yeah. Facts. Yeah. Bring me back down to earth. It's not this huge deal. Again, it's just an inconvenience. And that's what every time I got on the phone and he sees me rolling my eyes because people want to be hard-headed. He's just like, thank you so much for handling this. Like, it's going to be okay. It's just an inconvenience. No one was hurt, kind of bring me back down.
So tell the audience a little bit about your frustration, right? Because after this lady hit your car and nearly propelled it into the stratosphere.
Facts.
She started playing funny, right?
Yeah. So first she was crying, like, please don't call the police. Like, we'll handle this, da-da-da-da. And again, because it's my neighbor and it's like, I'm going to see this person on the street. I was like, okay, no problem. Like, that it's your fault, da-da-da. And then her husband came. She's like, oh, talk to my husband, whatever. So her husband came, assessed the car. And then I had a flat tire. So he changed the tire. He's like, oh, we could drive it to the shop. And of course, we'll pay for all the repairs, da-da-da. But then when he changed the tire, the axle's bent. So he's like, we can't drive this car. I have to get a tow truck. Crazy. So I was like, perfect.
Crazy.
Right. So I'm like, now it's going to be more money. You sure you don't want to go through the insurance? And then in my mind, I'm like, I hope they have insurance. And I guess he read that in my voice because I'm like, hello, like, are you sure you want to?
Mommy's coming.
I was like, I'm going to call the police, right? I was like, okay, are you sure you want to go, like, pay for this? Personally, don't want to go through insurance. He's like, no, my premium's going to go up, blah, blah, blah. Like, we'll just see how much it is. I'll pay for it, blah, blah. So he's like, I'll send a tow truck today. But that was like, this happened at like 7-something in the morning. It was like 4:00. I'm like, are you going to tow this car or not? So he wasn't home. So I go and I talk to the wife. Oh, and then the other thing is he left his car at my house, like another car. They have like a couple cars. He left his car at my house and he's like, oh, you can drive my car while your car is getting repaired. And I was like, I was like, I am not driving your car that I'm not insured with. so I could get in an accident. Then you're like, oh, you hit my car and I hit your car. No thanks. So I went and gave the keys back to the wife. This was like at 4:00. And I was like, hey, any idea when the tow truck's going to come to get my car? Because, I'm not paying for it. So I was like, when is the tow truck coming? And she's like, oh, well, this is only taking so long because you didn't let my husband change the tire. Like the car could have been at the shop, but you didn't let him touch your car. So I was like,
she didn't say with that indignation, bro. She didn't say.
No, she did. She was just like, well, it's taking so long because you didn't want to give my husband the opportunity to change the tire and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I'm name retracted for safety purposes. I was like, are you okay? I was like, are you okay? I was like, did you even go by my car after you hit it to see that your husband actually walked over, changed the tire, and he told me that the axle's bent? So I was like, call your husband. And she's like, So I'm calling him on my phone, but he didn't answer. And again, this man's at work. So it's like, I get it, right? He didn't answer. She calls him. He didn't answer, but then he calls her right back. So I was like, give me the phone. So I take the phone from her, literally. And I was like, excuse me, sir. I said his name. Did you tell your wife that I didn't allow you to change my tire, even though my tire is changed right now, that you even went and got your own jack because you said you didn't understand my jack?
Right. Whoa, he didn't understand jacks?
Well, I don't know. I don't know about jacks, but he went to his car and got another jack that like you crank versus mine. I guess you had to put together. No idea. Mm-hmm. Right. So then he's like, I didn't tell her that. He's like, yeah, you let me change it. He's like, we're fine. He's like, is everything okay? I was like, your wife is lying. I was like, and I'm not talking to her ever again. So I'm only communicating with you. And if my car is not picked up at some point today, I'm calling the police and I don't care.
Yeah, I was so ready to roll up for you, sis.
I'm getting hot. I'm sweating. I'm sweating talking about this.
Last time I met mommy, she's sweating. She's sweating, folks.
I just couldn't believe it,
Get ready.
Vlad. I'm trying to be nice. Like, again, I know people don't like the police. I did not want to get them involved either, especially because, again, so I called you and I was like, okay, do I need to call the police? And you're like, no, it's only like if it's a he said, she said, the police will figure out like who's at fault. So you have all the facts. But I was like, we know the facts. I have it on my cam. I have it on my house camera. I have my witnesses because all my neighbors on this side text me like, hey, someone hit your car. And I was like, oh, I know, she's at my door. So it's like we didn't need to do that, but I would have if she would have kept acting crazy. And her husband was so apologetic that it's like, I know that it was just like her. It wasn't him. He was trying to get back to work because she's at home and he's at work and he's trying to do work. Like his responsibility at that point was to be at work.
I bet you he was pissed.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you he was pissed. There were so many times when I was working as a trooper that hit and run crashes would happen all the time. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes by the time we got called, it was too late. The person who was at fault was in the wind somewhere, driving with half a car at times, for real. I mean, they get caught eventually.
That happened to Emmy. So Emmy, my sister, someone hit her car. He gave her fake insurance information. He didn't even have insurance, Vlad.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like, oh, let's exchange information. Fake.
So he gave her, here's my license. Did he give her the license?
I think so.
So he gave the license?
Her insurance ended up paying for it because he didn't have insurance because it was fake.
That's a criminal complaint.
Oh, I'm sure he probably went to jail. That's not Emmy's fault, or she probably doesn't care. But that happened. So her insurance had to go up because she had to pay for it because the person didn't have insurance, which was something I was afraid of. So I was thankful that they did have it. And their insurance was like, oh, we saw the video. Thank you so much. Da, da, da. They're paying for the car seats. They're paying for everything. But it's like, what if they didn't have it?
People will act funny when they know they ain't got something. That's why she didn't want you to call the police. And I thought at first it was because, I don't know if it was status.
Yeah, right? Well, and that's why I would never call the police, right? Because I don't know, and I don't want to have that on my conscience, like, because
playing stupid games,
right?
Man. You're gonna win stupid prizes. There's this lady that hit this person and kept driving on 495, right? Mm-hmm. And when they called the state police, it was my patrol area, so I caught up with them and I saw them trying to weave in and out. And when they saw those lights, they stopped in the car. And the lady, when I stopped her, I was agitated because I'm sitting here weaving through traffic trying to catch this lady, and the person who she hit is following me. So I'm like, yo, first of all, you can't follow me. But second of all,
right.
She had to stay up with her so she can give the information, the rolling information on where they were. Mm-hmm. I walk up to the car, and the lady's like, why am I getting pulled over? I'm like,
you know why.
Don't push your luck. You know you hit that call.
Oh no, what happened?
Man, crazy, man. Well, that being said, right, I'm glad you shared that story. I'm sorry that story happened.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you shared that story because even within that, you saw the dynamic between the wife and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
She over here lying.
And he's like, I didn't even talk to her. So it's like, I'm glad that I was handling it because, again, Wallace is more passive, and not saying that he would have handled it wrong. It just would have taken longer because he probably would have believed the wife that I didn't let him go with the car. Then he would have came and asked me. So it would have been just more back and forth. So I'm glad that it was me because I was like, what the heck? And then the language barrier too, because even Wallace came back and he's like, Angie, this is too much Spanish.
You know, all right, so.
And he defends himself like Wallace speaks very well, but I think it's just like the fast pace of it. And again, she was already in shock because it happened or whatever, but it was just funny how he communicated.
I'm going to tell you right now, that lady would have been a lot more shock if she would have hit my car. I would have been knife handing her like we on road and there's blue lights behind you. I'll tell that story another time. You already know how a dude stole my headphones out of my car and I found them. I did the police job for them. I'm like, y'all suck. Y'all suck so bad.
It's because there's so much paperwork, Vlad. So you did it the other way, the quick way.
No, I did it the competent way. Okay, like let's see. This person.
What, the police are
I have the still.
Vlad?
I have the still of him, and I saw a Domino's jacket. I'm like, oh golly, there's 2 Domino's here. Let me start with the first one that I drive by every day. And then I go there and I see, and then I ask him. I said, "This is a picture of this guy I'm looking for him. He stole something from us." And they didn't know that I was looking into like official police business or not. I just said, this is somebody who's wanted for theft. I'm looking for him. Can you help me find him? I could have been a bounty hunter. You know what I mean? So I already know it's Lowell. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, yeah, different story for a different day. Shout out to that dude. I feel bad for him. Really, I do. But that being said, I'm sure that Wallace was glad that you took something off his plate that day because obviously you had the girls and everything. But that brings us to the topic of acts of service, right, versus acts of labor. So for different people, certain acts, certain behaviors or favors that you do in a relationship are the way that they show love. And I think often when I'm talking to other people that I'm friends with, other people in relationships who feel like something's lopsided, like, oh, this person doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, nah, she never does this for me. And it's like, well, what about the things that she does do for you? Is that the way that she expresses love? What are the ways that you receive love? You see, this is what I was talking about in the first time in that last the conversation we were talking about in the last podcast. I'm like, yo, if you guys have been talking or chilling or, I don't know, walking along the water for 5 years, like, yo, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah, but Vlad, too, you mentioned acts of, what is it? Love languages and all that.
Acts of service, yeah.
But
acts of service is
one of them. But when you love somebody, like you have to love them by their, what is it called?
Their love language.
Their love language, right? Sorry. So yeah, you have to love them by how they receive love, right? Because if you aren't into gift receiving and your love language is acts of service, and the way I show love is by giving gifts. So I'm gifting you all these things, and you're like, she doesn't love me. Clearly, I think I'm doing a good job, but I need to do what you love or how you receive love in order for you to feel that love, you know? And I think that's when people mess up because you're like, oh, well, my love language is like touchy-feely. What's that one?
Physical touch.
Physical touch, right. So physical touch. But then I'm not getting no physical touch. All I'm getting is words of affirmation, which are cool, but it's like, do it while you're holding my hand or rubbing my back. You know, like you have to remember how that person receives their love too.
Love languages. I'm going to try to look these up to see exactly what they are here. Let me see. There's 5 love languages.
Yes.
Okay. So the 5 love languages that exist are words of affirmation that you mentioned. They're acts of service. So when actions speak louder than words. They're receiving gifts, like you already covered.
Yep.
Quality time.
That's a good one.
Is a good one. And then, of course, we have physical touch.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like I'm all of them.
I feel like I'm words of affirmation and physical touch. But, you know, that archetype, whatever your love languages are, they aren't set in stone. They actually might graduate over time.
And evolve.
Yeah. So, you know, for me, back then, I just needed you to touch me. We straight.
Yeah, exactly.
Just touch it. But Hey, whatever that it is, you can decide what that it is. I just need you to touch me one day. No, but now words of affirmation are important because we're on this entrepreneurial journey. I'm putting myself out there.
Yep.
I'm really trying to put myself into my purpose. I'm not trying, I am, and it's been happening. And I need those words of affirmation from my partner.
Yep.
I need that belief from her that, yo, bro, you good. You golden, bro. Like you look dope out there. I need that. You know, I need that more than I need physical touch. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's different. But yeah, for you, was it hard figuring out what those love languages were when you and Wallace met? At what point did you, when you two met and you were dating, did you figure out what those love languages were? Was there a conversation or was it just trial and error?
I think it was trial and error for sure. Because I know when we first got married, again, family dynamics, the roots of everything. So I'm the oldest. I've been sharing my whole life. Like everything is sharing. Like I'll give you everything I have if I feel like you need it. But Wallace he has siblings, but they're so much older than him that he was raised an only child. So I don't want to call Wallace selfish, but he was very selfish when we first got together.
So what does that mean? Let's break that down real quick.
What does it mean that he was selfish?
Yeah, like what was he doing that?
Yeah, so not considering like that I'm also around. So an example would be he'd be at work and he'd come home with only dinner for him. He's like, "Oh, you were home. Why you weren't gonna like make something?" And I was like,
"What's that about?" So did he ask you if you wanted anything where he was getting
No, he just came home with just stuff for him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And again, it wasn't like malicious, like I ain't gonna bring her nothing. It was just like he wasn't conscious, like I live with this person, I love this person, I should also like take her into consideration, you know? And again, we've been together a long time, so it was like, hey Wallace, you know how when I go somewhere and I come back, I always bring you lunch or dinner.
You gotta lob it. You gotta lob it.
Yeah, and it was kind of like leaning in instead of calling out, right? It was like I'm bringing you in.
I like that.
Yeah, we're leaning in instead of calling out. Like you never do this. No, I mean he never did, but he doesn't know, because when you know better, you do better. He didn't know.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, but again, I only had that conversation once.
And he bit.
He bit. Were there times where he forgot? Of course, human. But 85% of the time, he remembered, like, oh, we had this conversation. Like, let me acknowledge and remember. And it wasn't just like dinner. It was like other things too. Like, oh, I know Angie's going to be out late. Let me turn on like the porch light or something. You know, like little things like that. But now he does. It's like, oh, turn it on. But again, those conversations had to be had because he just didn't know. It wasn't his normal to consider other people because he was the baby. Everybody was considering him, you know?
So that would be an act of service. Like that love language for you to receive love is when I'm out, I want you to think about me, right? And that's how you communicated that.
Yeah.
By leaning in and not calling out. I like that, dude.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to put that in a quote somewhere. Like that is great.
But but again, because I knew where he came from, I knew that it wasn't like malicious and it wasn't like, you know, F Angie could do for herself or whatever. It's just like the little thoughtful things like that. He just didn't have anyone to do them for. He didn't have other, younger siblings to do it or people that lived with him. His mom was at work. He was at home. He fended for himself.
Right.
You know?
And let me ask you this. Say your partner tells you what their love language is. Say you're at that place of emotional intelligence and you say, this is how I receive love. I want you to buy me gifts or I want you to, I don't know, pat my nose or something. You say that to them and they're like, well, that's not how I give love. So maybe you'll have to figure out something else. Get your words of affirmation somewhere else. That's just not how I give love. That's not how I always ever gave love. So that's that. What would you say to that?
Whoa. Wow. So it's like, why is that person in a relationship then? They just want to be in a relationship with someone just like them?
You would be surprised how many people would love to be in relationships with people just like them because they don't know who they are.
And this is why it's so important, Vlad, to get those things out the first couple months. Because I don't think that that's a conversation that you should be having or things you should be feeling when you've been with someone like 6 months. You know what I mean?
6 months is not that long, though, in the grand scheme of things.
Well, I guess it depends how often you're hanging out. 6 months, if you're only seeing them once a month, yeah. But if you're seeing each other every day, let's say, 6 months is a long time. You know, so
Fair.
so it's like early on, I feel like you should get that out of the way, because if they're in the beginning when you should be trying to court someone and you're like in your best behavior, quote, quote, you're not getting that information. It's like, why are y'all still together? It's like the basic, like how I want to be appreciated and valued. That's like relationship 101.
I just sighed because I sighed out of sadness.
Yeah.
Because I've seen this. I saw this in my parents' relationships. I don't even think my parents talked about it. I don't think they got that far. I think by the time love language, words about all that was out of the window.
It probably didn't exist.
No. Like, you going to tell an old school Caribbean boomer, this is how I like to. First of all, the man's going to say, I expect that you cook and clean, have my meal ready for me when I get home, and spread them when I'm ready. That's it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was just like there's this societal indifference, I guess, that happens with that. Obviously, we're of the generation and during a time in the world's history where the women aren't putting up with that as they shouldn't. I mean, my mother raised me to do my own.
It's because we have more access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, bro, my mom told me, she's like, listen, these gals, they don't cook and clean for you. So you better learn, you got to learn how to cook and clean. But then I get into a relationship and mom's like, well, why is your wife not cooking and cleaning? I'm like, huh? wait.
You told me she wasn't, Mom. That's what I got.
I'm so confuzzled. Okay, I don't even know. Just this is Caribbean logic sometimes, just like this.
Yeah.
You know, it don't make sense. But yeah. So, but you would be surprised how many people are in relationships with people that they expect things from them that they don't communicate,
right?
And then they don't say anything. And then they just swallow it. Every time that person's not doing it, they just swallow it, and they get resentful.
People aren't mind readers.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what we have to remember, because how can I expect you to do something for me if I've never expressed that need? Because at this point, it's a need. Like, this is how I need to be loved. People need to feel loved, valued, appreciated, all the things. So it's like, if you can't do like, and I think that's the bare minimum, because it's like, why am I feeling like this in my house? You know what I mean? So it's like, please communicate that. Audience.
Look at every camera. Say that.
Please express your needs. Express your needs, okay? So important. I just don't get it, Vlad. And maybe it's like a fear of rejection. Like, if I'm that vulnerable with someone, am I gonna lose them? Maybe that's not the worst thing in the world.
Oh wow.
You know? Like, how do I say it? If I express a need, now it's like not a challenge. What's the word? I'm a burden, because now you're going out of your way to do something for me. But is that not what relationships are? Like, it should be two people trying to out serve each other, like out give to each other.
That's an interesting way to look at it. Like, you almost being radical about your acts of service, about making good on those love language requests, instead of just stating it and hoping that it happens. That's yeah.
You should be your number one advocate.
Well, let me ask you this, okay? We've seen this dynamic often in relationships where things are a little touch and go, because there's one partner that is the chaos captain, but they also might be the chaos creator. And the roles get muffled. Even if they say, this is my lane, this is what I'm great at. I'm great at managing finances. I'm great at cooking. I'm great at getting the kids ready for school. I'm great at finding activities for them. But I expect you to do all of it because that is the role at which we've been told that you were supposed to get all these things.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw my hands up. I can do it. I have the ability to do it, but I'm not going to do it, because it is not my role. You see this a lot in religious groups. You see this a lot in the church. You see this a lot with folks who are raised by single parents. You see this a lot. What do you think about a relationship where there's one partner that is unapologetically not doing anything that they don't want to do, and only doing things when they have to do it under the prism or through the prism of, I'm a man, you're the woman, I'm the husband, you're the wife, I'm the father, you're the mother, whatever. But
I think you can't assign me a role if I don't acknowledge it.
Ooh.
It's like a contract.
Ooh.
Like, if if anyone sends you a contract, they're like, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to come take over your house. I'm going to steal everything in your tool shed. I'm going to wreck your car. Please sign here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Why?
The car wrecking really hits home right now.
Right. But it's like, I'm not signing that. So it's like,
Right.
you can't tell me what to do unless I agree to do it.
But what if you do, though? Say you and Wallace have been dating for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say at some point there's a window of opportunity for you to stake your claim and make your expectations known. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm going to do. But also, this is how I like to be treated. This is how you talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you not talk to
Mm-hmm.
me. If you talk to me like this, I'm not going to tolerate things
Right.
of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Say you missed the window and you're still in this relationship. You have kids. It's complicated. You share finances. Like now there's a life that's built around this relationship where you kind of didn't really make those expectations clear.
Mm-hmm.
And you're almost afraid, as you said, either due to rejection or just fear that the person is going to blow up and cause another chaotic circumstance that you either got to clean up or live through or even bring the kids through.
Right.
What are your options at that point?
Just like a contract, Vlad, we have to do an amendment, right? But you have to bring your thoughts forward. Like, again, you might be scared, but you got to do it scared. You got to do it scared. And like, what else are you going to do? You're either going to bring it scared. It might change, it might not. But if you never do, then it never will. You know what I mean? So it's like now you're, what's the word? Now you're just like going to live with that forever because you didn't decide to speak up.
I mean, yeah. So I think it's a great segue into this. I'm going to ask a question that is going to, I hope the audience can weigh in on this because this is a hotly contested topic, especially, and I say the church because obviously we're believers.
Yeah.
Is it ever an option to leave a lopsided, dare I say, disrespectful relationship if you're a believer and you believe that it's not ever an option for you to divorce based on irreconcilable differences, right?
But why are they unreconcilable? Like, were they tried to be reconciled? Or you just never brought it up? So you're like, well, taking this L. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to bring it up.
You have to bring it up.
You do. You have to talk about it. And I feel like you bringing it up. And again, I'm not anti-divorce. I believe in divorce when it's needed. But I also think, yes, divorce, if you've tried everything you can to save it. Like you at some point love this person to the point that you wanted to marry them. Try as hard as you can. Now, if I'm trying and doing everything and seeking the counselors and you don't want to come and I'm doing this and I'm talking to you and, you know, I've done everything I can and you just don't want to budge, then I can go in peace and know that I did everything I could. But if I'm not bringing those things up to you, Vlad, then did I really try? So
what if you did? What if you did and your hesitation to leave the relationship is you love this person, you want to see the best in this person, but you also have children and you feel that it would be detrimental to their well-being and to their development for you to divorce or separate from this person.
But why would it be detrimental if we divorce? Because of like money? I feel like kids adapt. Yeah, it sucks. Like, oh, they have two, you know, households or whatever. But sometimes you being happy and you being fulfilled for your kids to see that is way better for the kids. And I tell people all the time, my parents should have got divorced 10 years before they did. We would have been in a way better space mentally if they would have just done that. But I get it. Different times. My mom couldn't afford to divorce my dad. He was providing everything. But when she finally did leave, she planned it. Because again, women leave mentally first. She was like, I'm leaving this dude. Let me go work a job to make more money. Let me start a business to make more money. Let me be a landlord to start more, you know, to make more money. And then divorce when she was able to do that, right? Let me make sure that Angie's out of the house, like at least one kid's out of the house. It's like one less person I have to worry about. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, well, I don't know where I was going with that, but yes, try your hardest, work it out. There's, again, so many resources. If money's a problem, there's so many free resources. No one wants people to get divorced. Like no one does. People should be together because at one point they loved each other. But if it's going to bring your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health down, please divorce and save yourself all that heartache. Save your kids from all that heartache. They don't want to see you unhappy.
I 100% agree with that. My mother did the same thing. I would say the same thing, that my parents should have divorced right after they got married.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm playing, but not really. But I know that for a lot of folks who do have the resources or who have more of an opportunity won't do it because of their belief system, or they won't do it because they feel like the kids will suffer a greater amount than if they were to stay. And that is 100% categorically not true. I say that as a child of dysfunction. Let me tell you something, dude. It will do your children untold damage to have them see you in a relationship where you are spoken down to, where you were disrespected, where you were dismissed, and just flat out maltreated, just mistreated, right? I didn't thankfully pick up on, I didn't inherit a lot of my father's tactics, but one thing I did inherit when I started dating that I realized is that I was really cold. I got that feedback multiple times, that if for some reason I felt emotionally distant because of something that my partner, that person I was dating did to me, instead of talking about it, I would just stop talking and I would disappear.
Yeah.
And they would be talking to me. I'd act like they're not there. My mom is the queen at doing this, yo. Yeah, I'll tell you a quick story. One time we were going to go to church and we were living in Salem, my wife and I, and my mom was living in Everett with my brother, as she still is. And she always relied on me to bring her everywhere, even though I wasn't living there anymore. And there was a car at the house. So I'm like,
you're her Google baby, that's why.
Right. So she was saying, like, are you almost there? My mom was running behind. Why don't you just have my brother take you to church? Mind you, the church is down the street. I'm coming from like half an hour away.
Yeah.
Church is down the street. And she said, fine, fine, whatever. You don't want to do it, then fine. My mom walked to church. She didn't let my brother take her to church. My mom walked to church. And it kind of sucks because all that stuff, it blew up in her face because the mass that she thought she was going to, they had canceled the mass. So then we met her in the steeple or whatever. We met her in the church and she was just praying at the altar. And then we sat in the back because she was like steaming. My mom got up after she was done praying. We were sitting there for like, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes. And she walked right by, here's the row we were sitting in. My mom just walked right by us and just opened the door and left and started walking out of church. I'm like, yo, this is a whole nother level of petty. But I explain that. I use that example because maybe not at that degree, but that coldness of, I'm going to leave you before you leave me, mentally, emotionally, like I'm going to abandon you before you abandon me. Like ain't nobody going to have, I had that.
Yeah.
I had that. And I still, the reason why I have systems in place, I got prayer partners in place, is because I need somebody to tell me something I don't want to hear. I need you to tell me something I don't want to hear.
Right.
Because I need to hear it in order to feed, or in some cases, just save my relationship.
Yeah, but we're never gonna grow, Vlad, without that that feedback. I want to say the constructive feedback.
Right.
And I think that also happens in a lot of relationships because people are trying to save face. And sometimes their partner does need to grow in certain areas or needs to back off in certain areas if they're controlling or whatnot. And they don't bring it up. So it continues happening. And then the people around you notice. But it's like it has to be here in the nucleus.
In the nucleus.
In the
center.
Right. Where it's actually happening. Because I can't want better for you than you want for yourself.
But listen, I am like the king of worrying about people more than they worry about themselves.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
I would say it's the big sister energy for you. I'm the little guy, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm the youngest cousin. I'm the little brother. Actually, I'm not the youngest cousin. I'm the second youngest cousin. But it's that leadership, inherent leadership, that mission that God has called us both to do. Like we loud and proud, and favor's not always fair.
Yeah.
And that'll have you end up in situations or relationships where you might be pulling more of the weight. I'm not saying that's what's happening now.
No, right.
But people do end up in relationships where and again, this goes back to being resolved. It goes back to mental health. It goes back to self-development. All that stuff is you might have a tendency to do more anyway. You might have a tendency to want that control, and you might not want your partner to have the control of planning a trip or have the control of taking heed of the kids. You might not want them to do that because you'd rather do it because you know how to do it right.
Oh, facts, Vlad. So that happened to us when this moved to Massachusetts when Wallace got in the band.
Oh, boy.
Because in Florida,
oh boy,
I was working in property management, so I found our house, the apartment, then I found the house. So I was doing it all. All the bills came to my name because I did everything again, admin. So when Wallace got this opportunity, and then we were next to my family, so it was like we'd go to my mom's house, like everyone was right there. So it's like Wallace didn't have to do. It was like and again, it's not because he didn't want to or didn't have the capacities, because I had it. I'm doing it. It's fine. I've been doing this my whole life. I'll just take care of it. But then when we moved here, he had to move first. I was still under contract with my old job, so I was away. We were away from each other for like a month and a half while I finished my contract, and he was up here. He had to find our apartment, and I was like,
I'm sweating.
Wallace has to do all this. So I'm like, did you do this? Did you ask this? Blah, blah, blah. But he did it. It was great. And it was kind of like the first tab that closed. Like Wallace tells me all the time, like, close a tab, Angie. You have too many tabs open in your brain. And there's a lot of accounts on Instagram about like the eldest sister, like they need a soft life, and when they find someone that brings that to them, it's so magical.
Soft life.
A soft life. And Wallace does let me leave a soft life, because what happened? He moved us up here. He did everything a month and a half. Then I got here, and it was kind of like I allowed him to lead because he never had the opportunity.
Please, we have to talk about this. This is going to be controversial. That's why I like this.
Yeah. Again, it's our whole marriage. It wasn't that he couldn't lead, is I didn't let him, because who is the toughest, strongest male in your house? Your eldest daughter. That's me. So I'm doing all these things, but it's like I didn't have to, but I thought that I did because I'll just take care of it. But then moving up here, I feel like it was just Team Wangie. We got, because Wallace is doing it and I'm here, and it's only the both of us. No one else is here. I can't run to my mama's house. Right. He can't, you know what I mean? Go to his friend's house or whatever. So it's like we're up here. He took the lead on everything. Another tab closed. He found our apartment. Another tab closed. Anything happens with the lights or whatever, another tab closed. He literally did it all because he had the opportunity to do it. And I was like, wow, is this what the soft life means, Vlad? Like,
so what you're saying is there's a soft life for you that is possible if you let Wallace lead when I
relinquished control, Vlad.
Wow.
That's and it had to happen. And that's why I'm like, we bought a house up here. I was like, I ain't going nowhere, because this is like freedom to me. And not that I wouldn't have freedom in Florida, but I would have never realized that I could let go until we had to rely on just each other up here. You know?
Relinquished control.
I did.
That's powerful. What do you say to the independent women out there still bumping the Independent Woman by Destiny's Child? What do you say to the independent women out there trying to make it happen in these relationships, but they don't want to relinquish control because they don't need no man?
I'm going to quote Alana and Arya's favorite movie, Frozen. Let it go. Let it go.
Oh,
can't hold you back anymore. Just let it go, bro. Just girls, let it go. But again, I was able to let it go because I knew that Wallace would handle it. It's hard when you don't trust the person that you're letting it go to.
That's
what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, why are you with someone you can't trust? There's a lot of layers, Vlad. You know, there's a lot of layers.
Why are you with somebody that you can't
Why
trust?
would you be with somebody you can't trust? Make it make sense.
Oh, wait, ask the question again, because I think people need another opportunity to ponder on that. Let's ask that one more time with that same conviction, that same energy.
Yeah. Why would you be with someone you don't trust? So you can let it go.
I can give you the answer. You want the answer to that?
Oh, Lord, go.
Because I love them.
Love is not enough.
Well, we need to.
Is that a song?
Maybe we need to name the episode off.
I mean, cater to you.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, there are people that would just rather run the bathwater and help you brush your hair and put your do-rag on and not have to have a difficult conversation with you.
But then it's like, is that the life you want? Just complacency? Is that the word? Or because your needs aren't being met in that situation. It's, again, it has to be two people that want to cater to each other. And how do we cater to each other? If they're meeting my needs, I'm meeting their needs, and we're trying to outdo each other pretty much. It has to be two people that love each other so much that they're trying to make the other person's life better, healthier, stronger. Like, I want that for that person.
And I think it's important to realize, too, to highlight that, especially in relationships that you and I both been with our spouses for over a decade, there are going to be seasons of time where you're doing more and you have to relinquish a little. There are going to be other seasons where you have to relinquish a little bit more.
Yep.
So it's not to say that in this season you find yourself doing more of the housework, you find yourself doing more of the administrative work, you find yourself doing more of the child rearing because your partner's either in transition or your partner's got illness or your partner is having a rough time, suffering a loss of some sort. So seasons of relationships will shift.
Yep.
But if every season is drought season,
Right.
then
No.
you need to go get you a sip of water.
Yeah. Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You need to get that ooska. No, I'm playing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, man. Okay. All right. So, last question. I think what I'd love for us to talk about is, as we redefine relationships, couples now, modern couples, they're redefining this stuff, right? There's still an element of traditional matter in there somewhere for Julie and I in our relationship. She lets me lead. And there are times I let her lead.
Yep.
Like I'm not gonna keep it funky, yo. Like Jules is the leader when it comes to Lito. Like she leads the educational front because she knows exactly what he needs.
Well,
that whole thing.
That's her bag.
That's her bag.
You know, so it's like, why wouldn't she? I think it'd be dumb if you didn't let her, because you're not using all your resources, Vlad.
Listen, and that is so important to know what is in your wheelhouse and what is not. And it is okay, to your point, Angie, to relinquish control. You don't have to be at the forefront of everything. And listen, I'm saying to my fellas too, you don't have to lead everything in every aspect of in all of the entirety of your relationship.
Kill the macho. Kill the macho. The machismo.
Kill that machismo.
Yeah, kill the machismo. Because that's what it is. It's like, oh, I have to be involved because I'm the man and I'm the priest of my house and the blah, blah, blah. Are you, though, if you're not being smart?
I would rather relinquish control where it's needed, where if I'm being honest with myself, I know I will not do as great a job as my wife in trying to find a different daycare or trying to find resources for my son that he needs. I might not be as good as that, but I am superb at being fun dad. I am superb at investments for him. I am superb at discipline, right? And because, there's just certain things, there's just certain aspects, especially with parenting, there's just certain aspects of the child that each parent's going to have access to that the other parent might not have access to. So knowing what is in your bag, what is in your lane, will save you so much time and so much frustration. And also, it will kill the need to have your partner read your mind. You don't need to read my mind if you know what I'm doing. Exactly. I don't need to read your mind if I know what you're doing.
Exactly. And again, we're working together. So it's like, if you said, oh, she's handling all the daycare, any information that she finds, she's going to bring to you.
Right.
So it's not like you have to be involved, and you guys are going to tour this daycare. You're both going together because there might be something that she didn't think of, because to your point, you're the one that takes Lito to the park. You do all those things. So it's like, what kind of activities are they doing here? She's handling the education. You're handling all the extracurriculars. So it's a teamwork. Like, you have to work together. That's how we do it too. Wallace, again, the girls are like, I want to go to the park. That's a Wallace thing. I hate being outside. I hate bugs. I don't want to go. I'm sweating.
Just think about it.
Anything outside, anything pool related. Your girl can't swim. You take the kids to the pool. I ain't doing it.
Wait, you know how to swim?
I don't know how to swim. I swim like a rock.
I don't really know how to swim.
Nah, and it's funny because my dad also doesn't know how to swim, and he's from Cuba. So it's like, why don't you know how to swim? But he always used to tell us the people that know how to swim are the ones that drown, because people that don't know how to swim aren't getting in the water. Facts. I don't think I'm ever going to drown because I'm not going in the water like that.
What if you got in a plane crash and you survive, but your plane's in the water?
I better be floating on something, man.
It's like the Titanic. You've been floating on the door somewhere.
Maybe.
Yo, okay. Yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground today.
Yes.
What is a final thought, like Jerry Springer, rest in peace? What is a final thought that you got for the folks?
Speak your truth. Talk about what you need. Bring up your needs. And don't be quiet. Don't be silent. You know, there's a quote, and I'm going to have to find it. So I'll find it while you say your piece.
Okay. What I want to leave folks with is this. Relationships are work. They're always going to be work. Communication is at the bedrock. I've heard people tell me this every time I see an OG couple and I'm asking somebody, hey, what's some game that you can give me? And the game is almost always, 99% of the time, Angie, it's you need to communicate. And not knowing how to talk to your partner is going to be a huge barrier for you in getting your needs met or expressed. So communication is a bedrock. Know what your love languages are. Don't be afraid to express them early in the relationship so that you don't get 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 years in and realize that your needs haven't been being met for the past decade and change, right? So know what your love languages are. Know what your bottom lines are. And also be willing to relinquish control when it's necessary so that you can do what you do best.
Yeah. So the quote I found, it's by Zora Neale Hurston. And it says, if you are silent about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. And this quote highlights the importance of speaking up about suffering and not allowing others to misrepresent or dismiss one's experiences. It emphasizes the power dynamics and potential dangers of silence, particularly for marginalized individuals, but I think for anyone. So again, if you're silent about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. So speak up. What don't you like? What do you like? What do you need to be a better human, to be the best version of yourself in the relationship? Say it. Speak up.
Speak up.
Speak up.
That's a mouthful. I mean, that quote sums it all. And like we said, if you love what you see, if you like what you hear, like, subscribe, follow our channels on Instagram and on YouTube. We are going to be expanding out, hopefully creating some more reach out in the social media stratosphere. But please, please, please like and subscribe. If you like what you see, man, tell your friends about it. And if there's something that you want to hear us talk about and dissect here, if you want to be a part of our podcast and you feel like you'd have something to contribute, send us a DM, send us an email at rootsandrhythmpod@gmail.com. That's rootsandrhythmpod@gmail.com. And also, if you really loved what you heard here, or something spoke to you, write us some letters. We want to hear from you.
Oh, that's great. Yes. Please send us some DMs. We're trying to build up our platforms. And you'll be hearing some commercials soon because I think we have our first sponsors.
Oh, yes. We got our first sponsor. I'm excited to share.
Yes.
We'll be putting that in the next episodes. I'm excited about where we're going, sis. I'm excited about the people, the feedback. We've been getting a lot of feedback from folks on the conversations that we've been having. And so we just want to continue this conversation with you so that we can all establish our roots. We can understand our roots and change and decide what the rhythm of our lights will be. Well, wait, time out. Before we even say bye.
Okay.
Before we even say bye.
Oh, Lord.
What are you going to do about this car situation now?
Oh, so I got a rental and my car's getting fixed. So hopefully they said up to 20 days. So we'll see what happens.
Up to 20 days.
Right now I have a sedan. Yuck. I don't know how I'm gonna do this little itty bitty car, but I'm used to SUVs.
Yo, she's tripping. Yo, they gave her a Genesis, y'all. They gave her a Genesis, man. She's riding dirty right now. You know, they should have gave you a Maybach.
At this point, that's what I deserve. But we'll see what happens.
If something does not happen, I think you're going to be hearing about La Cyber Mommy in them papers.
I'll give an update next week.
Nah, play. All right, yo, it's your boy Vlad the Bull, your number one embrace coach.
And Angie, La Cyber Mommy.
We out of here.
Stay rooted.
Stay rooted.
Bye.